Hi guys, this is Abdurrahman Gilal, and in this video I'll tell you that what are the basic tools that you need to actually, start developing your own website or web application. So before I explain you anything about tools, I would like to once again give you a recap about 3-tier architecture. You know that 3-tier architecture is an example of client-server architecture, right? So you're gonna see on your screen that let's say if you have if you're using Facebook, for example, in the Facebook, usually what you do is that if you're working from your desktop version of application, or you're using your, personal computer in order to request the Facebook. So what you usually do is that you open up a browser, and from the browser, you write facebook.com. So it's an address, or it's the basically name where your actual application is stored. So when it goes here, it basically does not go automatically. So it always goes through a protocol called HTTPS, Hypertext Transfer Protocol. We will learn about this protocol later on. And then here we got the pages, a lot of pages available, and a lot of different types of file, and a lot of connections available here. Maybe they have some subservers, which we don't want to discuss right now. And you know that server does not store, your data for a long time. So basically what happens is that server stores your information into the database, or, fetch your information from the database. For example, if you're providing your login credentials, so Facebook does not directly verify here. It goes to database and then fetches out the data related to your, credentials, and then decides. So now, in order to have everything all together at one place is somehow a little bit, not easy. So what usually happens here, so once you have a browser at, client level, which is sufficient for us to, request the server or, application, because client supports HTML, which is hypertext markup language, which is a, just a markup language that helps us to have a view or response from the server. And it supports Java scripting, and also supports CSS, cascading style sheet. So it may support some other tools or languages, which we'll discuss later. But at least browser supports the basic ones that we need to, make the fundamental kind of, or basic kind of app applications. So at client level, if you have browser, that's sufficient, because we have to make requests as a client also when we are developing our own application. But here is the more important thing, because here we need server. So we need a server because you know, we wanted to, receive the request from client and then try to communicate with the database. So we need somebody who can actually handle the request and response, because at a single time we may have so many requests coming here, like n types of requests. It could be million, it could be, I don't know, billion, because Facebook had around 2 point or some plus billion users. So let's say we need a server that actually handles the requests and all those things. And then definitely we need a language that supports a dynamism, such as, scripting languages. We have this PHP language because we are using PHP here, or you can use Perl or any other language. So we need at least two of these. And then in order to run the database, we need SQL also, because let's say if I'm working on a database, so I need to have a language that is basically, a database can be developed through, and can be actually, help us to receive and retrieve or store things in the database. So we need to have a language here. We need to have a language here. We need to have server. So these are basic things we need. So how can we do that? So one way is that I manually go and download each of them, like server, like I go and download an Apache server. So once I download Apache server and that PHP language, and then I have to have some, setups, like a binary setups between these two, so that I can configure Apache with PHP, and then I install MySQL, or any language, that any database management system such as MySQL, or, MariaDB or anything. And then I have to configure with them also. So it's like a kind of a, mix up of all of them. So if you're gonna do that, it's also good. But we've got some ways by which we can, install one application, and that application embeds or integrates all of them and set up everything. So the one of the application I showed you the other day is about XAMPP application. So XAMPP stands for cross-platform Apache, MySQL, and PHP. So it's kind of this is what they wanted to pronounce, abbreviate. So I'm gonna say like it's a wonderful kind of application which basically can help you to have the server, database, and script languages. So whatever you need in order to make the basic, application. So there you go, you got it. So this is very good. So now you have a browser at your system, and if you downloaded this, so from where you download from Apache Friends. Apache Friends, you go here and go into the download, decide which is your operating system, such as you got Windows or you got Linux or operating system like OS. So you should just choose the one and then you start, you know, using, following the instruction, you just install it on your system. Once you install it on your system, you're gonna have, a folder. If you're using MacBook, I'm sorry to inform you, but tell you just from my Mac. But if you're using the Windows, so you may have this C drive or something where you exactly can find the XAMPP folder into your C drive or wherever you have installed. So if you go to application here in operating system like a Mac, so you're gonna go into the XAMPP. You have this folder called htdocs. So this is the main directory from where the server initially pick up your all the details, right? So what you see in that directory, usually you got some some files available there. Usually you don't have to worry if you wanted to delete all of them and then you wanted to keep your own file, that's also good. But some basic configurations are shown there, so I always keep them. It's up to you. So this is my folder. That's a glad folder. Once I have installed my XAMPP, so you're gonna see that I may have such kind of you know a window pop up. If you go here in its main folder, if you click on manager operating OS X, so you may have this welcome message in this, and here you can start all of those servers and databases. Once they are started, then if you go here and you start writing localhost, so that's perfectly fine. So you see this is auto redirecting, which you don't have to worry. If I go and bring my own website or my own directory, I can simply write it. So I have already explained you that if you wanted to use the hosting address or IP address, so that's the address. Usually we write 127.0.1.0.1, and here you write the directory that you are looking for. So what happens is if you're working on Windows system, so you can start working on Notepad or anything, but usually Notepad does not help you well in terms of having your coding standards followed. So you need to have any editor in order to write your basic PHP code or HTML code. So you may use any of them if you're available, like whatever you're suitable with. But I use this Sublime. So in order to download the Sublime, you should go to the website called sublimetext.com and then go to downloads. And here you decide which one is good. If you're using Mac, Windows, everything is good with Sublime. You can use it. So this is gonna be the environment for the Sublime. Here you can write your code. Let's say you wanted to write PHP code. Sorry about my typing. And here you write any text that you wanted to write, and that's it. So when you wanted to store, you simply write control, press Control S, and you can here you write your name. Let's say I'm writing index2.php. So make sure that you have the extension called .php, and here is the folder that you wanted to decide. I'm sorry you can't see that, but once you store in the same folder, let's say I am installing in the cloud folder, which I have already made into here, in here. So now I have index2 here, right? So in here, once you've got this one, and then you wanted to, go to the localhost, and here you write index2.php, and there you go. So it looks fine. I think that's all from me for telling you the very basic, tools that you need to have when you wanted to start your web application development. If you have got any question, please do not hesitate to ask me. I'll be very happy to reply you. Thank you so much. See you in next video where I'll be explaining you how to write your first program in PHP or how to actually do more with PHP. Thank you so much, guys. Take care.